The year's 2024 and the age of cyborgs is here. Neuralink just tested its first possible human-cyborg relation. We have a chip inside of a human being's brain as of yesterday. Also, massive Cardano news. Charles Hoskinson putting out a coded message for his Cardano community. Time to discover crypto.
Capital flight is coming to the United States. The dollar is going to zero.
And that's what makes Bitcoin so special.
You have to have gone through a couple cycles to understand.
Once the price is able to clear this level, the breakout is on its way.
This is your indication to jump in now.
Love Breaker, he has been in the bushes for days. How are we all doing? I know we're feeling great. The markets are up and to the up. You know, we have robots forming. Are they going to out-trade us? Who knows? You know, not going to out-trade me on Blofin. We also got massive Cardano news. And that biohacker, we might mention him as well towards the tail end of the show. He's trying to reverse his aging. Is it possible? Can it be done? Josh, though, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, you bring up a good point. We have Neuralink, guys, implanted in an actual human. Now, these are obviously the first stages and just the first human trials. But man, imagine being able to wash trade instantly, just thinking about it from your brain when staring at trading.
Yeah, imagine closing your eyes and you just see the 1 second chart. Now, Nick, how does this feel as a transhuman mark of the beast angle? I mean, are there any worries on that end?
No.
No. Okay.
No, what is the mark of the beast then?
We're gonna that's for the basement. We'll get into that in the basement. All right. Elon Musk. Let's just get right into this story. Then we'll look at the markets. Elon Musk says his startup Neuralink has implanted a device in its first human. Musk said the first product from the brain science startup is called Telepathy, and it will let people control their phones just by thinking. And so he just released this yesterday. They got the device inside a human for the first time. Now, remember, they also had it in chimpanzees in the past. Now, he made this announcement yesterday. He said the patient is recovering after receiving their implant and said they saw promising neuron spike detection. I did a little bit more research there. It looks like they were looking for someone with quadriplegic issues, I think around 6 months ago. So it's likely this person is a quadriplegic. And I think we can assume they're trying to regain functionality over limbs.
Yeah, and the introduction to this is for the paralysis feature. He's spoken many times over the years on curing things like blindness because your brain and capacity to be able to see is still there, but obviously the visual, however the eyes actually work there, prevent them from seeing. So this has been a huge breakthrough, and it's just the beginning of all of this. We have this video here though for you guys that don't know. If you haven't kept up with Neuralink at all, this is a quick 60-second clip here of what Neuralink is doing, what they plan to do. And it is just shocking. First and foremost, as we watch this, let me know in the chat if you would get this implant yourself.
All right. First, we have a dog typing.
We have it right here. Wait.
Oh, you're gonna play? Yeah,
go for it.
Ahead.
No, go through your ears because we listen together.
All right. Here we go. Here we have a dog Neuralink train. Oh, sorry, monkey. Monkey doing telepathic typing using just his mind. This is only 20 seconds. Can I please have snacks? Said the monkey, for those listening at home. So the monkey types in the message, I have snacks. Then they show him different snacks and he chooses
the apple. Look at that. He got his apples.
Yeah, I thought he would have chosen a banana.
This is the beginning of like Planet of the Apes. This is that first scene where Caesar is learning how to speak and ultimately starts trying to break out of his cage and go start a colony in the middle of the forest in San Francisco. So
yeah, that first monkey is going to scream the word
or Washington.
No. I think it was the first word.
Did not like the bananas at all.
Here we have another just a 20 second clip here.
I'm not getting your
he's not getting the audio through that side. So let me play it through this side. Yeah, here you go. So this is overall. So even if someone has never had vision before, this is what I was referring to just a little bit earlier on the capabilities of Neuralink.
Like they were born blind, we believe we can still restore vision. Because the visual part of the cortex is still there. Even if they've never seen before, we're confident that they could see.
And that's, again, focusing on the visuals there. But I wanted to play this clip right here for you guys, too, as well. Just the beginning of the brain chip. It's about 60 seconds long.
According to Elon Musk, the tech titan sharing a big breakthrough from his brain science startup company, Neuralink, saying it has implanted a device in a human for the first time, a possible step toward a product that Musk says enables control of your phone or computer and through them almost any device just by thinking.
Imagine the joy of connecting with your loved ones, browsing the web, or even playing games using only your thoughts.
Musk posting Monday, the first human received an implant from Neuralink yesterday and is recovering well. The initial results, he added, showed promising neuron spike detection. But Musk gave no additional details about the procedure, the patient, or the device the company implanted. Musk writing, initial users will be those who have lost the use of their limbs, discussing his vision for Neuralink back in 2019.
This, I think, has a very good purpose, which is to cure important diseases and ultimately to help secure humanity's future.
So overall, guys, massive breakthrough coming out of this, and everything that, of course, you mentioned with the paralysis and focus on people that whether they're missing limbs or can't see. That is going to be the breakthrough from this. Now, there's already speculation on what you'll be able to do with the AI implants here, because again, this is very early on, and as you can see, monkeys can play Pong, they can type, they can order food. This is going to advance mankind to a whole new scale. So for everybody that was betting against Twitter, you had, Walmart and all these advertisers leaving it because they're betting on the downfall of Elon Musk. This is a massive breakthrough after the FDA gave them approval in last May. Just imagine, though, using your brain chip to either mine Bitcoin, a buy, sell, trade, or maybe when you dream, when you're in your dreams. I don't know about you guys, but like when I dream, I'm like, man, I'm the best trader in the world. I'm a Nancy Pelosi style trader in my dreams here. So maybe while you're falling asleep now and you're in your sleep, you'll be able to actually work and get things done because the AI chip.
I was thinking, if you have all these monkeys and they can use some limited form, they can pick out words, they can pick out shapes. Can we get these monkeys airdrop farming? Right? It's an airdrop farming meta, and so maybe that's the direction they're going to go. They're all going to be farming Dogecoin in the future. All right, Monkey Pong Coin. They already have a device. You don't need a chip. It's big and clunky though. Yeah, there's actually 4 or 5 companies doing similar things. Some have products that are already out. Imagine doing all that without a hole drilled into your skull. Bullish on the device having you. Okay, so one of the issues they do say, so it's like I think it's 1/5 the width of a human hair. And they don't know long term if brain tissue will grow around it, maybe attack it. So it's going to be a time issue. We'll see how well it works. Can that monkey still play Pong 2 years from now? That's going to be
the question. Yeah, that is going to be interesting. Because what if it snaps and it turns like how like robots and all the like iRobot, like it snaps and it turns evil. Like
the eyes turn red. That's your sign. So if you got a house robot and the eyes turn red, I think that's when you get out, right? That's we should all have a clear warning signal. It's okay. Put the robots in your home. Their eyes will turn red before they start grabbing sharp kitchen utensils. So that's how the movies work.
The real question is can that monkey play Pong and still do like normal tasks like swallow or defecate, or will lower brain function suffer because it's been rerouted to the
I think it's just like kids, they used to play outside and they started playing video games in Fortnite and now they can barely defecate themselves now. So it's like, hey, go outside, touch some grass.
Yeah.
But speaking of turning red, guys, the markets are doing the opposite.
Nice
we have
segue.
Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all of these altcoin guys in the green today. I don't even have to click on the 24 hours. You have Bitcoin now up to $43,500. BNB up, over $300. Solana at $105. XRP moving by 1 penny. Congratulations to all the XRP holders out there. Cardano in the green, 6%. Actually, the top mover in the top 10, and that might be because of the secret plans.
That
Cardano has revealed
secret
today.
plans. We're going to get into all that. If we look at the biggest on the 24-hour, we have BitTensor leading the way, and Say has a 15% pump for the day, and for the week, it is up 32% right here. We have Render. What were we talking about yesterday, Nick? Talking about Render. You were talking about Render.
10X'd.
You called out Render, right?
I literally just 10x'd my render bag. It's official as of this morning. I've 10x'd.
All right.
Now, I don't usually do this, but hey, guys, look, I'm going to give you some alpha. Okay, Render was one of the top movers in the deep in category, which we are going to talk about later in this article or this show today. But if we hit that 350 likes, I'm going to be giving you guys a secret gem that we've been watching that our members already know about. If you guys are joining the membership, you guys would already know about it in the private Q&A chats we have every single Friday. But I'll share that at 350 likes.
You know what? He's going to share his coin. I'll share my coin too.
Whoa,
okay,
if you show me yours, I'll show you mine.
Yeah,
you know,
They're going to do a coin compare live on the stream.
Who has the girthiest liquidity? All right, we have Sui.
Vital Buterin.
Well, volume matters. All right, Sui is up 10% as well. And Mina Protocol up almost 10%, is up 8.7, up 22% for the week. Sui up 43% for the week right there. That is massive. Solana, 31% pump. We told you to buy, Solana under $90 with that recent dip. Hopefully you listened. But now it's time to get a little bit scary. Go ahead and hit that like button. It'll decrease the odds. You'll see any of your coins here. I don't even know how much is going to be red here. Manta, a little bit of a pullback, but when you see that it's up 60% for the week, a 3.8% slide is not that bad. Conflux also down a little bit, is down 4%. Chili's, Monero, Tron, ICP, KuCoin, Apecoin down as well, 0.8%, but still up for the week. All right. Anything massive on the weekly? I don't think anything was too crazy. Just BitTensor, Manta. Manta's a newer one though. All right. Now, is it time to talk Cardano?
I think it is time to talk Cardano because there's a lot of speculation and secrets now revolving around what Charles Hoskinson did with a tweet earlier this week. Now, Charles has always been up to a lot of activity right now. He has been fighting back against all the FUD that's been coming to the Cardano ecosystem. And then he dropped this tweet. So coming from the Cardano king himself, what are your thoughts on this? This has been moving for the community. It's been trending now. If you go on Crypto Panic, it's the most engaged comments out there. Has there been anything revealed from this?
Yes and no. Yes and no. SHA-256 is why it's no. Yes. Deadwood is actually in the Neuralink style technology, biomedical tubular manufacturing. So he was doing that decades ago.
Main market bands and wires for stents. So, maybe the secret here is Charles Hoskinson is getting the brain implant, and that was the code that he established on his Twitter. But we could draw a tub to 2x the diameter of a hair with ODID wall thickness, 50 mil tolerance. I don't know what any of that means, but
I think they're drawing a tube, draw, pull out.
Oh man,
still pretty cool stuff there. All right, well, let's get back. Biomedical stuff, man. It is what it is. I was watching, or my fiance, she watches Grey's Anatomy, and they showed like an open surgery. I was like, whoa, that looked a little too real. But speaking of real, does it get more real than Cardano when it comes to top 10 projects? Cardano Army demands clarification from Chucky Ho-Ho, but no response yet. Here he is looking concerned. Matty B come up with that name. It's not my name.
He's actually coming back on the show here. Like in 2 weeks, he's going to be on the show.
Matty B. He was on ATB last night, so go ahead, watch ATB's episode. He brought up some fire takes. And not only that, he put me onto a new conspiracy involving the crypto movie, the crypto con artists, the Bitfinex hack. He put us onto a new conspiracy that I honestly can't dismiss it. You have to watch the episode to see it. I probably shouldn't mention it on this channel. All right, Cardano community finds itself in a state of intrigue and speculation following a cryptic tweet from Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano. He posted a tweet containing a string of alphanumeric characters with a celebratory note, "We did it." And this was the tweet. What the heck does it mean? I think it was Steak with Pride. I'm a big fan of this person, met him several times. Looks like a SHA-256 hash message that will be revealed later. So we don't know. So yes, if you know SHA-256, if you know that, you've cracked Bitcoin and you're a billionaire, but a trillionaire. But we did it, so we don't know exactly what is going on here. Members of the community engaged with the tweet seeking clarification on the milestone or message. Some saying, hey, it could be a recent development for transactions or advancements in quantum research. Others saying, no, this is definitely for a Cardano project. But however, he found nothing helpful when they were trying to find whether or not it was a blockchain transaction. Hey, maybe it's a transaction hash. No, it is not that either. Meanwhile, people are proposing, all right, likely it's just going to be a SHA-256 coded message. Essentially, we're not going to know, folks. We're not going to be able to know.
It's too smart for us.
Kobe posted a similar type message back in April 23. If we look this, I did want to see That was unauthorizedly decoded here. I don't remember that. Did they decode that against his wishes? I don't recall that, Kobe. Kobe is so cryptic and secretive. You never see the guy, and he'll like pop up like, hey, it's Kurt Cobain, and then he disappears again.
Like in our millennia.
Yeah, and he comes back out. Well, honestly, he comes back at like top of the bull run saying that, like, hey, take profits, y'all. Or like comes in the bottom of the bear, like, hey, I'd buy. Smart guy.
That's the ultimate indicator, guys. So if you're not following him, that's what you're saying to do?
Yeah, if you're not following him, I would definitely follow him. He's probably the nicest guy in crypto. You can't be more nice than this guy. It's going to be impossible. Like, he's the type of guy, someone sends him $1,000 of a meme token. I might sell it. He's the type of guy who's like, oh, I got this meme token, I burned it, then doubled the amount and gave it to a kid with a medical bill. And you're like, okay, you win.
Sounds exactly like the guy with the camera out front right now that's in the woods. He would do something like that, right?
He wouldn't take liquidity off a coin.
Hey, speaking of liquidity though, guys, we have Cardano facing a crucial moment as ADA aims to scale and break resistance itself. So we did have a tweet come out from Dan Gambardello and said, do you understand how bullish Cardano is as a blockchain? So with all the speculation around what actually was tweeted out by Charles Hoskinson, 4 years ago, Cardano didn't have any key figures or features like staking, multi-asset ledger, or smart contracts. Now has the most secure, robust, and decentralized liquid staking mechanism. Man, this guy's a little bit of a maxi, complemented by a brand new and expanding DeFi ecosystem. He is not wrong. So looking at a breakout here, I know you've been trading Cardano. Do you have any longs right now opened up on Blofin?
No, I thought about scalping on the short-term time frame here. I'll actually go ahead and pull up the chart here. I'll show you what I was thinking, folks. I was thinking about opening up a little Blofin trade if I hit the 5 minute, because let's see, this was 20 minutes ago. So it was oh my God. It was 4 or 5 minute candles. It just started to go up a little bit. And I was like, well, I like what I see. I see a little bit of some bullish divergence here. But when I went to the 1 hour, I didn't like what I saw in the larger time frames. And I saw something similar with Polygon. Well, it looks like I should have opened the long. I would have been in profit. But I didn't. So that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, I want to, but the large time frames, it's all these safe traders out there. Oh, well, if it doesn't coincide with the 4 hour, I wouldn't enter the trade.
You should wait till it goes back down to 2 cents. It never actually happens. But speaking of charts, guys, we do have Kelly Kellum, the GOAT from the basement, join us here today. Bitcoin's moving. Bitcoin's at $43,498.66 to be exact. I give you the exact number in this live stream. Kelly, what are we looking at in these charts? Are people too late to jump in on these markets? Are there key levels you're watching? What do I need to know as someone that just coming into markets this week?
Well, first off, thank you for having me here. And everybody here, if you're here right now, it means you're still ahead of the world. Hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel. We're giving away thousands of dollars every month. So get involved now with the charts. It feels so good. The market's moving up. That means it's going up and to the moon, right? We need to get in our leverage 100x longs. No, right now is still a time of caution. We need to watch for what's going on in terms of a potential pullback. And here's why. I'm going to bring this up for you right in here. We got a couple different things I want to show you using Lux Algo and then also Elliott Wave. I want to show you here. We've got a push up here all the way from about 26.7, and we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave. And currently what we like to see after this, what tends to happen is we get a corrective wave A, a bounce up to B, and then a drop to C, which typically has a lower low than this previous pullback right here. Now, may happen, but we need to be aware of it, because what we're seeing right now, yes, we have the price action pushing to the upside, but we're starting to see on Lux Algo, the oscillator matrix is starting to roll over here a little bit. And if we pull up these other data points right in here, we can see that we're coming into a little bit of local resistance right here on this portion of this wave right in here. Now, separate from this entirely, just using traditional technical analysis, this move from that high we had on that ETF impulse to the upside, the breakdown here from this top to this bottom, the golden pocket's right here at $45,000. So we really need to be cautious with any price action until we get up into the zone. This is going to kind of let us know if we break through this, we have to be still cautious, but it starts really leading into the bulls. If we go into the BITLAB premium Discord here, we can also see from Corduroy, one of our leading basically technical traders here in the BITLAB Discord, we can see the liquidation heat maps too here. This very bright level, you don't need to know this on a technical level. Just look at this on the most basic sense. When you see very bright levels, it means there's a lot of liquidation. There's a lot of stuff in the order books at that level, basically, that could also act as a liquidity magnet for price action to come up there and clear that liquidity. But it also means that if we do clear this, we may be in for a very quick move to the upside. So if we do clear this and break very quickly past 45,000, we're going to want to watch the volume come in on any sort of retrace that happens here. Because where we're at right now, I still believe we could have a little bit of a dip, because when we look at where we're at here on the key levels, short-term holder cost basis, we have not come down and tested into this yet. And so I think we need to be a little cautious here with all this. Additionally, if we look at the value map here on the Bitcoin strategy platform, all previous halvings, we've had the price action come up here and bounce off this fair value area and then touch up into this overvalued area before coming down pre-halving. We also saw this here, pushed up into this overvalued area, rejected here again at fair value. Where we're at right now, we still, we haven't, I don't know if we're going to get up into this zone, but there's a lot of considerations here, because when we're thinking about everything right now, there's a lot of weight. And I don't know if you guys are going to bring this up, but the pressure that's been on the market for downside action from FTX closing out a lot of their, the rotation of capital out of GBTC, we're starting to see the somewhat of a flippening here, where the net inflows are starting to be very positive, because this sell pressure is not really weighing on the market anymore. So when we're looking at Bitcoin, last thing I want to say here, looking at Bitcoin, we have a couple key levels we need to pay attention to. $45,000 above us. If we lose back on this level that we're at now, this is a critical level. This line right here marked. We can see it is marked. Let me turn off this Lux algo real quick. This key level, this diagonal has marked really kind of where the sentiment is. When we're above it, we're quite bullish. When we're below it, things get a bit uncertain. So if we do pull back below this, I expect we'll come back down here and test 38 and likely down to 36. As it stands right now, things feel bullish, but we're getting a little bit of a bearish divergence starting to form here if this Lux algo oscillator matrix can't push any higher. But there's one more thing I wanted to show you, actually. You guys were talking about Cardano. Cardano feels good, right? We had that impulse, very quick move to the upside. But look at this, from this Fibonacci, from this high to this low, we rejected right here in this golden pocket once, and now we're pushing up this 382 and getting a little bit of a rejection. So I'm not really ultimately very bullish until we break above 60 cents. This stuff right here is a recipe to get trapped and chop out your cap for the bull market. I would advise, I'm trading all the different time frames, but I've been doing it for years. I would say I'd be looking for opportunities on any price action to the downs to buy. I wouldn't be looking too short right now, but as it stands right now, there is bullishness, but I'd be a little cautious because we're still forming lower lows and lower highs as it stands. So until we break above 60 cents, that's what I'm thinking. Head over to BITLAB Academy. Check us out on the stream after this. We go live right after this. We'll be breaking down the charts in a bit more detail, and get involved in the BITLAB Discord. We have so much stuff in here. JJ calls. Josh is sharing so much great stuff here on the daily basis. Tim, myself, everybody. So don't.
I just added to it
for the best opportunity.
Kelly, appreciate it, man. You're looking good. We could tell you're doing all that cardio you were talking about this morning. So great job, man. Thank you.
Yeah, and I did want to ask the chat here just really quick. Guys, what prices are you guys waiting to buy Bitcoin? I took a poll this morning. 25K, 35K, 40K, or 45,000. So I want to ask chat, guys. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat. What prices are you waiting to buy? Are you guys waiting for a pullback? Are you trying to get in below 40K? Are you waiting after that? You got 4 choices right here: 25, 35, 40, or 45. Now, the reason why I'm going to show you this is because the poll is already taken, and this is actually a little bit off right here, because I'm going to pull up the actual results after this. Oh, and there they go. They popped up here. So now you're going to see them early. 83%, 82% of people out of 336 votes right here are anticipating downward action in the market at the moment. So we still got 21 hours left in this poll, but as it stands, 82% DZ believe that we are going to be seeing a bit of a pullback in these markets, and they're going to be waiting to accumulate. So I do like taking these polls. I just like to get a kind of understanding where current market sentiment is. We got a bunch of 35, 35.8, 35, 35, 35. Exactly.
10K. So, we got Sack Nasty. He's really trying to get it on sale.
Man, that is some sack. That's some nasty sack work right there, dude. I'm telling you, 10K in the sack here. Yeah, and so traditionally when I do see that, I'm just going to be real. Like that's when I generally think we might see a little bit more upside. But I have to agree with that 45K mark. If we don't break through that, we will probably come back down to that 39,000.
10K, that's a tall order, you know, because then you have to say, all right, I have this $11,000 Bitcoin. I didn't sell at 40. I didn't sell at 30. I didn't sell at 20. Now I'm going to sell. That's just, it's hard for me to imagine that person.
Yeah.
All right. Bitcoin surges to 43K as ETF inflows outpace the sell pressure. Let's just jump straight to the graphic that has all the pertinent details here. So everybody was in the negative or zero, except for we had a couple bright shining stars here. We had iShares, Fidelity, ARK, and Bitwise. Grayscale in the negative. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait, sorry, 0.5. I didn't see that. Mostly, though, negative or nothing here. But hey, we have a little entity called BlackRock, and they seem to have like a pretty good sales team there. All right, Glassnode co-founder warns Bitcoin surge could trigger a $1 billion liquidation event. I don't think we've hit $1 billion. That last crash, we hit around, what, $260 million. $1 billion liquidation event, probably going to be, a crash to the downside. That would be a buying opportunity. I don't know if we'll end up hitting $1 billion. If we dip below 36, it'll probably be in the billions, because you're going to have everybody trying to catch falling knives. You got to stay away from catching falling knives.
I'm going to pull it up in just a second, and I don't follow a lot of Crypto Rover stuff. Going to be real. He's like the last person I follow on Twitter for any type of news. But there is liquidations you're showing on High Block where, I mean, there's $1 billion in liquidations if we go back down to 39.5. I think it's actually 1.2 billion in terms of long liquidations. So we are at this point where if we don't get enough short sellers to like squeeze us to higher prices, it is more than likely going to fall back down here. But we got Ziggy coming in with the $10. Can we get a referral code for mantis.games.app if that is what you guys are on for restaking Solana? We do have some gaming content coming out in the stream here. I don't have a referral code specifically on Mantis. There's very few games I'm watching in the Web3 space. The only one I've actually played is Shrapnel. So,
Nick, is that the one Taco's been talking about?
I don't think so, no.
I don't think so. Okay.
Man.
Yeah, we might not be on that. I have to double check. Ziggy, though, thank you for that super chat. We really do appreciate that.
You.
And folks, we bring you crypto content 7 days a week. We bring you a live stream Monday through Friday where we bring you all the pertinent crypto news of the past 24 hours. And if you like that type of content, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you're on your phone, go ahead and hit the little dots on the bottom and you'll see subscribe to channel, or if you're watching on a television there. All right. On-chain indicator suggests Bitcoin holders very reluctant to sell coins despite post-ETF correction. And this is kind of what I was saying earlier. People are reluctant to sell at 40K. They're going to be really reluctant to sell at 30, really reluctant to sell at 25, 20. So, just be careful with those very, very bearish price takes there. We also have, what was this here? The pivotal role of stable coins in Bitcoin's recent surge. If a lot of people, they like to do OTC deals, and sometimes they don't want Johnny Law, Uncle Sam watching everything, or maybe they're overseas and Bitcoin could be seen as a political, exercise. So they'll buy a bunch of Tether, and then they'll use that Tether to buy Bitcoin. So, when we see massive Tether prints, typically they're going to buy Bitcoin. Maybe once in a blue moon, they'll buy ETH, they'll buy Solana, they'll buy Cardano, they'll buy Doge, they'll buy SHIB. 9 times out of 10, you got $1 billion Tether transfer. They're just going to market buy, or they're going to buy some Bitcoin off exchanges or try to OTC.
It actually follows along with, this is Crypto Quant right here, with short-term holders. So traditionally, you see a lot of that money printing from these large stablecoin providers like UST when short-term holders are starting to sell at losses. Now, this is going to be a little bit small of a chart. I'm going to try it. There we go. We can zoom in here so you guys see it a little bit better. But what a small-term holder or short-term holder refers to, guys, is anybody holding between, I believe it's 1 hour and 155 days. And you'll notice that the bottom of markets tend to take place when short-term holders are at a sell-off and below this one range. So we are below that right now, and you could see that every time we traditionally hit that, there's a bit of a bounce in the market. So short-term holders sell off, whales buy. Short-term holders sell off, whales buy. So right now, again, we're seeing those short-term holders, this little red dot here, selling off. And unfortunately, guys, the stable coins that are usually printing this money, they're whales. And so they are starting to accumulate. You see Bitcoin or BlackRock picking up hundreds of millions of dollars worth every single day. These are very bullish signs and narratives that we can get that price action while retailers FOMO or fear themselves out of the market, waiting for lower prices. Your whales are just picking up and dollar cost averaging in. And Overcome, thank you for the $2, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate that. Let's see here. Josh DZ, any thoughts on Hex and Pulse Chain? Is it a good buy?
Oh, boy.
Hex and Pulse can pump like no one's business. That being said, I sacked for PulseX. Richard Hart, free speech. I wasn't betting on Richard Hart. I wasn't betting on the technology. I wasn't betting on anything except that community. That community is strong despite what you might feel about the tech, about, where's the ETH going? Where's the ETH? Where's the ETH? You take all that away, it has a strong community. I would say Hex on dips can pump pretty good. Long term though, there's a lot of other coins I'd rather have. Overcome.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna have to be the opposite. I just hate cults in general, and that is a cult. There's no utility other than being in the cult. So the community can pump it, but it's a cult. So sometimes that cult is positive, sometimes it's negative, and right now their leader, the cult leader, is being investigated. So. That's some Marilyn Manson shit right there.
You know what? Fight Club. Fight Club was a cult. They're screaming his name is Robert Paulson. I would have hung out in that house, So who knows? I would have drank the Kool. I wouldn't have drank the Kool.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
All right. CCC posting his favorite cologne. All right. We have billionaires' financial advice. They're sharing some crucial financial advice. Talking about Polyhopatia, Cuban, Salinas, and Tim Draper. Chamath Palihapitiya, CEO of Social Capital. Probably most known for being on the All In podcast and an early executive for Facebook, championed Bitcoin as a prudent hedge against unstable banking systems and inflationary practices by central banks. He was a big buyer of Bitcoin in 2012, so he's sitting pretty on that. He advised investors to allocate a modest portion of Bitcoin due to a substantial price potential. This, I think, is just, it's a prudent hedge against unstable banking systems. Hey, if you're a millionaire or billionaire, 1%. He's just saying put 1%. I think that's very palatable, advice that millionaires and billionaires should take. Meanwhile, we got Mark Cuban, the outspoken former owner of the Dallas Mavericks. He sees Bitcoin more broadly as a cornerstone of future business innovations. And someone just checked, you can still buy Mavs merch with Dogecoin. So he's been a fan of crypto for a while.
DZ, have you seen Mark Cuban get absolutely bodied on X over his?
Yeah, he's been trying to push discrimination and then trying to wrap it in a bow where it's okay.
What?
And he just keeps painting himself in a corner further and further and further. And it is pretty funny just like watching him try to defend what many would say is indefensible positions and just kind of just getting owned. And
he's splitting his deck, doubling down, splitting the deck and doubling down, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. It's pretty funny to watch in real time.
Sack Nasty. I woke up luckiest man in the world because you woke up in America. Hey, it's 1 out of 20 chance that it happens. And, some would say it makes you pretty lucky. On the other hand, we have Ricardo Salinas. He's a Mexican billionaire. He offers a slightly different take. He says it's emerging as a superior form of money, resilience against government interferences. And then last but not least, we got Tim Draper. That's not him. Tim Draper spoke about Bitcoin in terms of its intrinsic qualities. He's known for his diamond hands approach. And he said the fixed supply of 21 million and its detachment from government control means it's a superior currency choice for the future. So we're starting to see the tide shift. We're starting to see Larry Fink talk about it more. Starting to see presidential candidates talk about it more. I think, now is the time to get in. So we're glad that you're watching at this, slightly bullish phase, but a lot of people are going to say, it's still kind of a bearish period for Bitcoin in the 4-year cycle. So we appreciate you being here now. Go ahead, hit that like button, show your appreciation. Where are we on the likes?
Yeah, we are at 178, guys. We have 703 watch right now, guys. Let's make sure we close that gap because at 350, we're halfway there, guys. We'll be showing you some hidden gems that you're not going to want to miss out on. These are projects that I believe one of them very well could be the next render, which obviously we just saw Nick do a 10x here. They called very, very early on.
Hey, Josh,
going to the what's up? What do you got first?
I want to get input from both you guys. Where do you align as far as where you see Bitcoin and the value of it in accordance with those 4 billionaires? Each one of those 4 billionaires at a different take.
I see Bitcoin hitting like $650,000 one day, and that's in comparison to gold. That's not going to happen at the flip of a switch. It's not going to happen over the next 2 to 3 years. Yeah. That comes from the marginal cost of production, the energy, and all of the consumption that Bitcoin mining consumes, and the comparison to that store value. So right now we're seeing this in China, right? China's economy down 50% over the last 3 years. Evergrande was just the tip of the iceberg with their real estate bubble that we watched explode. And if you guys haven't seen those videos, we just dropped obviously yesterday's stream, but the video last night on our channel that's taken off because people just kind of forgot about Evergrande. A lot of people think Evergrande is old news. It is not old news. It is just as of yesterday or 2 days ago that the Hong Kong courts are now going to be forcing them to liquidate. We're talking about a company, $300 billion in assets. This is massive and makes up for, I think the vehicles around her is like 95% of China's GDP. This is what every investor in China puts their money into. They are all putting it into 3, 4, 5 homes. They all invested in real estate. And now for the first time, we're seeing the second largest economy in the world. Their investors fled to Bitcoin as a safe haven. We've seen $86 billion in inflows. And that is while Bitcoin has been banned. And now we're seeing Hong Kong come out of the shadows and go, oh, shoot, we're screwed. We need a store value. We need to break away from this communist kind of dictatorship that's just prevented our economy from prospering. And now they're flooding into those assets. You have a lot of executives from financial institutions out there moving their funds into this. This is on-chain evidence. We see the percentages moving up in the adoption of that crypto. So with these billionaires, I'd have to say, I think, Bitcoin is that flight to quality. It is going to be comparable to a store value as gold. I think anybody in crypto that believes in that fundamental value and that utility behind Bitcoin being that store value for second, third world, and even first world countries will one day be in comparison to that hard asset as gold. So that's $650,000 Bitcoin for me in the next 15, 20, 25 years.
So DZ, who do you align with out of those 4 billionaires as far as the value of it?
I would say the ideals I most closely aligned with is escape from inflation, So I would say, maybe Draper, I would say maybe fits that category best.
I would say my eyebrows meet Draper's pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good call there. I will say this, for wealthy individuals, 2% inflation or 4% inflation doesn't really harm them that much because so much of their wealth is tied in assets. It's tied up in real estate, it's tied up in stocks and bonds. And so if we get 2% inflation, guess what? That real estate jumped 3%. Those stocks jumped 4%. So they're totally okay. You know what? Keep inflating because, when I wake up, I see, hey, extra zeros in my bank account. So I don't mind. You just keep inflating. It hurts average Americans. And so, Bitcoin is our escape hatch. You're wondering, well, I got a 5% raise, but things are much more difficult when it comes to paying my bills. Bitcoin can save you there. Someone said, speaking of cults, why do we have a certain individual eligible for candidacy here? I don't know if you mean Ukraine or the other laundry list of investigations. I think fans of each individual would just say, oh, those investigations aren't really real crimes. So I think that answer goes for both ways. And you might disagree with that take, but a lot of people agree with it.
And yes, it was for C90. They're asking which 4 billionaires. It was Chamath, Mark Cuban, Ricardo Salinas, and Tim Draper. Yes.
Tim Draper. All right, we got a couple scam stories here. Silk Road seller linked to 8,100 Bitcoin seizure, pled guilty. Let's see. He sold goods on Silk Road. What was Silk Road known for? I wonder what he sold here. Maybe it's like
organic apples, I think was their number one.
Maybe ceramic snow globes. Well, let's see here. Well, no, he was a drug kingpin, and he was involved in a large crypto seizure here, and he pled guilty to running a network of dark web marketplaces. So 40-year-old Banmeet Singh admitted to distributing hundreds of kilograms of drugs through vendors on dark websites like Silk Road, Alphabet, and others. He got $150 million worth of crypto seized from him. It's the largest in DEA history. And it was 8,100 Bitcoin worth $342 million today. And the U.S. recently, that's a different story, but they announced that they're going to sell $130 million from a previous Silk Road seizure. What did he sell? We want to know what he sold. What did he sell? LSD, ecstasy, fentanyl, Xannies, ketamine, and tramadol between 2012 and 2017.
That it?
That's it. Where's the booger sugar?
All?
Where's
no Delta 9?
I want some of that stuff, John Travolta did and that move. No. We don't want any of this. Drugs are bad, kids, okay?
I'm trying to figure out what their top bust is, because it's got to be billions of dollars in cocaine.
Jimmy Zong, I think. Jimmy Zong. We also have German police. This one I had to find. German police sees, this is today, $2 billion worth of Bitcoin.
Nice.
This from pirated movies and music. This guy, he operated a site that did pirated movies, pirated music, But the joy of the story is he got Bitcoin so long ago and he diamond handed it. He diamond handed that crap into the billions. Well, they eventually found him and seized his 50,000 Bitcoin there. It was a piracy website in 2013. They don't say what the site was, but it's interesting to see there. Meanwhile, you got the guy who's like did LimeWire. He's like, I was giving it away for free. You mean I could have been selling it in Bitcoin? Oh man. Dude wasn't even on the pills there. That's funny. I wonder how they seized it, the Bitcoin. Mike Bennett, I have a take on that. And the same take would apply to Jimmy Bitcoin, Jimmy Zong, which we're fans of. I would love to get him on the channel one day when they release him. Here's my guess. The government, you know what? They like money just like the rest of us. When that investigation's happening, they got to do overtime. They got to pass it up the chain and say, hey, I need extra money for manpower. That is a negotiating chip. Oh, I got $2 billion worth of Bitcoin, but you ain't getting it unless you let me walk scot-free. And they're like, well, we can't do that, but here's what we offer you. And then your lawyer gets, well, that's not enough. $2 billion, we walk or nothing. And then you spend, whether it's 2 months, 2 years, you negotiate, and you use that $2 billion worth of Bitcoin to leverage a lesser prison sentence. That would be my take. That's how they get it. Jimmy Bitcoin, though, they stuck some in his laptop real quick that moves the cursor so the screen won't get blank, and they walked him out to his back porch at the same time, and then they jammed it in his laptop real quick. So yeah, it's different ways, but that's my take there. All right, I wear my Dare t-shirt as I buy his pharmaceuticals.
More pharmaceuticals, but hey, we do got Polymarket traders seeing a 55% chance of second Trump presidency. So those bets are going up now on the two parties that are going to be coming out, of course, of this presidential election. But I don't see a lot of people betting on RFK. I think RFK Jr. has been creeping up in the polls as well. So very interesting that Polymarket is seeing that 55% reduction here. But I wanted to ask the chat here if they agree with the big banks. We're talking Morgan Stanley. They made a crazy prediction just a few days ago in terms of, is the dollar going to be dethroned? So put 1 in the chat if you agree that the US dollar is going to be taken over by another currency. Put 2 if you believe the US dollar isn't going anywhere. So the dollar is finished as the world's reserve currency, says renowned financial analyst. You have Richard X. Bove, a distinguished financial analyst with over 5 decades, 50 years of experience in an inflationary market, recently made a striking declaration about the future of the US dollar. According to a report by Rob Copeland, the New York Times, published on January 27th, in an interview following his retirement announcement, Bove, known for his candid and often unconventional views, shared his insights on the U.S. economy. So his economic outlook, I think you have highlighted the best moments in what he said in this interview.
In the article, they're saying his career began early. I mean, ATMs didn't even exist back then, and he gained prominence in the late 70s. He is known for challenging the status quo. And what are some of his predictions? Well, he predicted the housing market was going to crash in 2005 and the post-2008 recovery of the major banks there. So, this is basically what he's saying. He's saying is a dire outlook on the U.S. economy. The dollar is finished as the world's reserve. I think it will happen. I think the steps are taking place. And I think if you just look at demographics and populations, it's going to happen. But it's all about, is it decades from now, years from now, a century from now? I'm banking on 2 decades plus.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of questions. I think it leads off Morgan Stanley. So you have him at the same time as Morgan Stanley coming out. And Morgan Stanley sounds alarm on U.S. dollars dominance. Now, this comes kind of around that BRICS talk and everything, but says crypto. This comes from Morgan Stanley. Says crypto could significantly alter the currency landscape. So Morgan Stanley has warned about the risks of the U.S. dollar losing its dominance, fueled by growing interest in digital assets, including Bitcoin. Emphasizing that the U.S. dollar's dominance is being increasingly scrutinized, the investment bank stated. A clear shift towards reducing dollar dependency is evident, simultaneously fueling interest in digital currencies such as Bitcoin, stablecoins, and CBDC. So even Morgan Stanley has noted that the recent growth in the interest of digital assets such as Bitcoin, the stablecoins, etc., have potentially created the significance of altering the currency landscape moving to this future. So I have to agree with you. I don't think the dollar is going anywhere anytime soon, not within the next few decades, especially with the second largest economy in the world now struggling with China and their real estate. I think the dollar's still got time here, but I don't think anybody can debate at this point. I don't even think it's up for debates that the world realizes that the predatory capitalism that's been embedded into our cultures for the last 50, 60, 70 years is now forcing these governments and institutional hands like the Federal Reserve to push retail and us, the 1% or the 99%, into digital currencies as a safe haven, as a way to store our value and just change our lives for the better. So, we don't want to rely on those big institutions anymore. We are being forced and pushed away from the money printers each and every single day.
And these big institutions, they're totally separated from politicians and the Treasury Department. There's no overlap, and you don't leave as a CEO of a big bank, then go work for the Treasury Department immediately. Nothing like that happens. These senators, there's no collusion.
No inside trading.
There's no inside trading. And that's going to take us to our next story. Surprise call from a U.S. senator ahead of the Fed's interest rate decision on Wednesday. Will the decision be affected? I mean, there's only 50 states and 2 senators apiece. I mean, this is a finite pool. Who could it be? Oh,
Emperor
okay.
Palpatine.
All right.
Oh, wait, is that... That's not who that is. That's Elizabeth Warren?
Yeah, that's Elizabeth Warren. Yeah. Well, Elizabeth Warren, along with 3 Democratic counterparts, called on the Fed Reserve. They called Jay Powell to lower interest rates. Call comes as part of an effort to ease rising housing costs, which are a matter of concern ahead of this week's central bank policy meeting. Yeah, interest rates falling won't, housing prices won't just go up in relation to that. No, that won't happen at all. Senator Warren is known for frequently criticizing the Fed's interest rate hike policy. He was joined in this venture. He was joined in this venture. Are they revealing some breaking news here?
Wait a minute.
2024.
Inflation.
Well, she was joined in this venture by John Hickenlooper from Colorado, Jackie Rosen from Nevada, and Sheldon Whitehouse from Rhode Island. So those are the 3 other senators right there.
Unfortunately, guys, Elizabeth Warren, her net worth is only, I looked it up, $12 million. So
wow,
she definitely wants those interest rates to turn so she can afford her $10 million home. I feel bad for her, honestly. I could definitely relate to those struggles. She definitely is doing this and calling her friends, not to benefit herself and Jamie Dimon and these big institutions.
Hey guys, cool comment from the chat from Lovebreakers, who is an ally. So shout out to Lovebreakers. From the UK here, study economics a lot. US will be the strongest for all our lifetimes. Don't hate on the world's strongest country. It ain't perfect, but it's better than most.
The only thing I would counter with that, Lovebreakers, is, population, math. It's just math. You look at economic input per individual citizen of American, and then China, and then India. And all right, well, here's the economic output. And then you multiply by 300 million, 1.1 billion, 1.4 billion. Or I'm sorry, now they're the same. They're both like 1.3 and change. So they're both 1.3 billion. And India has the lowest divorce rates in the world, and a high percentage of people having babies, and a large percentage of people speaking English. Yeah. And I think on a long enough time scale, lifetime, that's a long time. People, could live another 6 decades here. I think a lot can change in 6 decades.
Yeah, but I would have to agree with Serge here. Like for me, it's, again, I don't think the United States is going anywhere. I think I would say
we're good for decades,
but also like even then, I don't see the United States like being dethroned in the next century. Probably like what I look at is like just the currency value. I think there is digital currencies that are just going to combat that. It doesn't mean the U.S. is going to drop off the face of the earth or become a third world country or be taken over by another country. I don't know what that necessarily looks like, but I'm just saying digital currency is being adopted, and that's why I'm dollar cost averaging and being more bullish than ever.
You know who's going to save the American economy?
Someone goes Iran.
Sam Altman, maybe. Who knows? Maybe. Could happen.
Dude, Sam Altman for president, 2048?
I have a bold AI prediction. If you look at Apple, Saudi Aramco, Microsoft, there's these valuable multi-trillion-dollar corporations. I think there will be an AI company at the top of the list 6 to 8 years from now.
Well,
I think it's a high probability Sam Altman could be the helm of that.
It could be the helm of it. Yeah, I don't think he'd ever run for like president or anything because he wants the government to be ran just by AI.
Well, are we ready for a gay president?
We already had one.
We had one for Harvard, and they were plagiarizing. We know how that went.
All right, well, let's get back to crypto here. Polygon Labs, speaking of politics here, they're advocating for DeFi as critical U.S. security. I'm very, very bullish on that. And the reason I'm bullish on this, Polygon, they have the best biz dev team in all of crypto, and that's pretty high praise.
You still think they do?
Who's better?
Solana?
Biz dev team. So what business development has Solana made that's not like within their own ecosystem? What's a Fortune 500 company they have reached out to? And so like I'm measuring it and reaching out to Fortune 500 companies.
Isn't Beam on Solana, or is that ETH?
I think it's ETH. I'm not sure. I'd have to double check. I've taken in too many chains in the past 2 months here. But look, this is essentially a lobbying effort. And what is BizDev Relations if not a lobbying effort?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty bullish on their lobbying efforts because it's so intrinsically combined. Fortune 500 companies and like FDA, SEC, all these regulatory bodies, they're super combined. So if they're able to get in with the businesses, that means they're able to get in with the politicians because they're the same people. They're the same people, everybody. All right. Bitcoin is the most popular crypto asset. Crypto exchanges among the least trusted service providers. Yeah, I would say crypto exchanges is going to be low on trust and Bitcoin is going to be high on trust. No surprise here. But this was a little bit suspicious. Bad crypto statistics. 17% of the participants own crypto and 30% plan to do so in the coming year. About 50% of those said they were positive about their financial earnings, while 20% expressed dissatisfaction with the returns. Well, that's low. I think we should all be like, how many of us don't say, well, you know that coin that pumped more than most? Why wasn't I 100% allocated to it? That's kind of how we feel a lot of the time. You could have like 5% exposure and you're like, I didn't have enough.
And you'll never have enough. When it pumps, you wish that you had more. When it, drops in value, you wish that you sold more. And that's just part of the emotional part of the markets and why we need to diversify. And guys, we're at 830 beautiful people watching right now, guys. We're already at 240 likes. We're just 100 away from showing our two favorite altcoins that we're going to be sharing with you guys today. We have some hidden gems that we will share with you, but we have to hit that 350 mark. So make sure we close that gap, guys. We'll be showing you what I believe could be the next render, as well as one of these top picks for this upcoming bull run.
All right, well, you want to do the altcoin story here? Altcoins gearing up for a Q1 hype cycle, says a crypto trader. We're talking about Rect Finance, Rect Capital.
I like Rect Capital.
I love Rect Capital.
Yeah.
Rect Capital has the previous bull run, you catch the bottoms and it predicts the next top.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked for 2021, it worked for 2017. But yeah, he shared with his followers that this chart suggests that altcoins go through cycles of hype that peak every 3 months. I love that. It peaks every 3 months. So that means we're going to get a peak in mid-February. Oh, I'm sorry. The hype should start rising mid-February, and then we get a peak in the beginning of April. All right. So should be a good March.
So that means bottom was already in? Question mark? Because we're already at the end of January. So if this is in February, does that mean we're expecting one more pullback? Because January's been almost up only month. Correct? It's been, no, it's actually not been up. It's been, it's been volatile. It was up to like the 10th, dropped massively. Now it's back up a little bit.
Yeah, it could be like nearing a bottom or still, potentially heading to the bottom.
Maybe we double bottom 38K?
Maybe. He has two coins that are going to outperform, Avalanche and Ethereum. It says Avalanche potentially forming support near $35.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. Avalanche ecosystem tokens. You got a Coke in you. Let's see. We got an Avalanche video, actually. Go watch that Avalanche video. I tell you the hottest Avalanche altcoins.
I'll post it in chat.
All right, cool. Awesome stuff there. What were you going to say about altcoins here?
Nothing necessarily. There's a really good chart on here that you're looking at. Bitcoin has reversed straight back into the macro diagonal resistance. So, if you guys really zoom out on the picture, it's all about, when in doubt, zoom out on this price action. Bitcoin is in a historical moment. We are just months away from the Bitcoin halving. And the price structure of Bitcoin is showing a lot of significant bullish signals. And so we are at this point where if we do break out, historically, we tend to follow this trend. It is saying that more than likely, you'll notice, if we got to zoom in, I'm going to zoom in on this chart for you guys. We could bounce off this line for a few months before initially breaking out, but we are just about 60 to 90 days before potentially breaking out of that pattern here. And I do believe this is going to be the most bullish crypto cycle we have ever seen. It might be our last cycle for you guys to make those not necessarily generational wealth, but life-changing percentage gains, whether it's the 5, the 10, the 15, the 20, the 25Xs. And we are just 90 days from that Bitcoin halving. So that's a really cool chart to see from Rect Capital.
All right, we might have another memeable photo of Vitalik. It's not as good as the last one.
Oh boy.
It's not as good as the last one.
It's pretty good.
Okay, is it a shadow? I don't know. Vitalik made a surprising visit to Binance, and the new CEO, Richard Tang, shares here. Was he there to visit He? That's the real question. So he went. They say surprise visit to the Binance office. I don't think it was a surprise like where someone pops up in the woods with a camera, or parks across the street and stands on top of their truck bed. I don't think it was that. I'm pretty sure he was like, let them know. Well, the revelation came from Richard Tang. He shared the news here. It was a privilege to have Vitalik visit the office. All right, we shared this screen here. All right.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, sorry, I'm
Are we
messing with
really
the zoom
doing
there a
this?
little.
Oh
Sorry,
my
hold on.
gosh.
Zoomed in too hard. There we go. There's the photo. That's how I wanted to show the photo. I wasn't trying to zoom or crop on anything weird. It's not quite as prominent. It's a little prominent there. You know what? This is the face of a builder. I will say that. Not face. This is the vibe of a builder. The bag, I probably wouldn't carry it, but I like Vitalik.
He's got some folds in those shorts. That's all I'm going to say here. I don't know what he's holding in there. Maybe that's his hard drive. Maybe he stores all of his Ethereum with him all at one time. But dude, Vitalik, he's showing those. I don't know what he's going to do with Richard Tang. I'm very interested in what comes out of this.
We don't know.
It's a lot of speculation.
It's a lot of speculation. Good story there, though. Good photo. We'll see if something comes from that.
And for people that don't know Richard Tang, guys, Richard Tang's kind of, I think, the goated replacement for CZ. Again, CZ did things in the past, but Binance is a very successful company. I think it's going to have a lot of turnaround. I think Richard Tang can be that key figure. He comes from the Monetary Authority of Singapore. He also developed Abu Dhabi's pretty much SEC regulations. So this guy is now the head of Binance and has developed all those regulations. So meeting with Vitalik Buterin, I'm very interested in what comes out of this. This is bullish. This is a bullish moment.
Speaking of bullish news for IMX. Immutable just did ZK EVM launch for on the mainnet, but it's not available for everybody. So you got a lot of the games on there. They're going to be messing with it. ZK zero knowledge proof. It's going to implement.
Yeah, what's everybody's? Do you have any favorite Web3 games? Very curious. Chat, let us know some hidden gem altcoin like games out there too. But do you have any favorite?
Honestly, I played some Gods Unchained. I did play Gods Unchained. There's really nothing like Pow World or Fortnite or I love Magic the Gathering. I'm just a Magic the Gathering nerd. I played over the weekend. I played a little last night. There's nothing that good to me. But you know what? I've heard people speculate that maybe Pal World might have like an NFT component in the future.
As well as GTA 6. There's still a lot of speculation. If we see Pal World, though, and that's because if you guys didn't know, Pal World, which actually we should probably pull up a picture of this if you guys haven't played this game, very addicting. Okay, they're being sued by Nintendo or Pokemon now.
Are they actually being sued?
I think they were, or there was threats.
Been filed. I don't know if anything's been filed.
But it's essentially Pokemon for adults, is what I like to think of it as. And the developers of this game have crypto ties and crypto exposure. So could we see that come out of this survival game? Perhaps. I think it would be more realistic to see it maybe come out of GTA 6, but we'll have to see. I still think this is the year where we finally get a huge breakthrough and maybe a Web 2 game or a Web 2 company that's like, you know what? We're going to start integrating this.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Gaming bags, people like Gods Unchained. Boosted. Nick, I want to ask you if you could comment on the rumor that Booster is trying to spread here that Nick Diamandi has low T. That's what it says.
Low T?
I don't have time for that.
It's because, the guy outside that's in the woods is always sucking up everybody's because he has none himself and can't produce it. So,
Jesus Christ, he went there.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
People like Witcher 3, Monkey League. I remember Monkey Ball, I think it was called. Great game on the game. What was that old Nintendo thing? After GameCube, they had... Maybe it was the GameCube.
Super
it was
Monkey
the
Ball.
GameCube. Monkey Ball. Super Monkey Ball on GameCube was great. The Wavebird, the best gamer controller
Monkey
ever.
League.
What is
Wavebird?
Oh, you're 100% right.
The Wavebird was by far the best
killed it.
controller. I'll die on that.
Is Monkey League a crypto game? That's what I'm actually curious about.
Monkey League.
While he looks that up, I'm gonna show you a disturbing set of abs.
Wait a minute.
Don't show my picture.
Not Beyonce Super Bowl, nothing like that. No, billionaire biohacker gets into NFTs with Drip Solana Airdrop, the Blueprint Collection, and collaboration with Super Team DAO offers 3 free and random Brian Johnson themed collectibles. Are you ready to see this man's torso?
Ew. That looks like
who is
paper
that?
mache.
That looks like the Deep from Amazon's The Boys.
Yeah.
Who is
He has
this?
gills. That's Brian Johnson, the guy who's like reversing his age by taking his son's blood.
Is he though?
Oh, dude.
I think he confirmed that he takes his son's blood.
No, but like,
yeah, he does weird things. He does weird things.
So he's building and he's saying, crypto and longevity are best friends, and there is a lot of overlap. I will say, in the higher levels, like Charles Hoskinson's really into longevity research. Vitalik's really into longevity research.
I'm telling you.
Freaking
DeSci.
No, Hal Finney. Hal Finney started it. He cryogenically froze himself. The guy that received the first ever Bitcoin transaction. Some say he is Satoshi. The facts are he received the first transaction ever from Satoshi. His name is Hal Finney.
The theory is
potentially has NSA connections here.
The theory is he will unfreeze the day the last Bitcoin is mined.
Well,
so
Jamie Dimon says when that happens, Satoshi will pop up on my computer screen and point and laugh at me.
Gotcha.
Well, it's going to be like Jurassic Park where Newman, didn't say the magic word. That was
this starts teasing you.
That was a lot of people are going to appreciate that reference. God, that made such a mark on me when I was
really
little.
did.
So okay, we got 2 games really quick here. So these are Web3 games. So we have the Monkey one. I looked this up. Monkey League looks pretty interesting. It actually looks like decent graphics.
You need a
and
monkey in the chat. Is there a monkey emoji?
Can I scroll through the photos here? Yeah, you can. So kind of cool. So it's a little monkey game, soccer game, kind of like I would compare it to the Super Smash Bros. Like soccer game that I don't know if you guys have ever played that. I've played that on Nintendo quite a few times here. So this is one game. There is the one I'm planning to share with you guys here. This isn't the secret crypto, so we need to hear the secret crypto coming from DZ with the secrets. But ultimately, guys, 350 likes. We're 50 likes away from that. So if you want to see the crypto that I believe can be part of this next decentralized rendering kind of community, the next render, I will show you guys that. But the game I do like is Shrapnel. This is an actually playable game for first-person shooter, and they're doing pretty well. There's now Twitch streamers and everybody that's starting to play it. This guy's just yelling out. He's talking about anything on the stream here. But it's kind of like Call of Duty 6v6. So we're starting to get there. I think we've come a long ways from Web3 gaming in 2021. I don't know if you remember that, but we were like starving for something just playable.
And a hangout spot.
Here we go. Here's
just
the
give
pictures.
me a 3D character, and I'll go sit on a couch.
Yeah, just
and do
anything.
nothing else.
Please, just something that's at least decent. So we are growing. Web3, I think, is advancing. So definitely play that. And this is a $3 million tournament. So some big tournaments coming out of the Web3 space now.
That's cool.
Anything Dr. Disrespect is working on? I know, Taco's a big fan of him. And Jeremy, Bertironi, he might start looking into some of this. I saw that he was tweeting in there. Jeremy, if you're watching, sorry I attacked you yesterday morning.
Chat, Web3 put a good point out. He said Shrap has an unlock coming. Yeah, I wasn't even specifically talking the tokens. Like, I'm someone that just likes playing these games. I'm waiting for an addictive, immersive Web3 game. Having tokenomics and a game, if you're betting on just a token, where I think the people are going to make the most amount of money playing Web3 games is actually learning how to utilize that ecosystem to yourself. So you have to be addicted to it. You have to be merged. Like, I used to play, I play a lot of Elder Scrolls Online. I don't know if you ever played Skyrim or Elder Scrolls. I was addicted, and there's something called Druax, which is like a very important product that you need to go find and farm in the game. And so we'd get a guild of like 200 people and go farm this. And I would stand with my character just playing a violin with like no clothes on in like the middle of the marketplace. And I would just sell this Druax all day, every day, in and out, just so I can pay for the guild because I was running it. It's like, if that was on chain and we were able to make that an actual value, that's where I think the worth's going to come out of these games. It's not going to be from the person that just simply buys a token. Not be from the person that just wants to, that's average at the game. I think it's going to correlate to the people that are actually spending the times in these economies and developing. So you're
basically the naked cowboy, but in the metaverse.
That's exactly what I was.
Metaverse naked cowboy. He isn't naked. He wears underwear.
It was my first door-to-door experience virtually. So, was definitely nice, free balling, and I sold a lot of Druax. So shout out to everybody that plays Skyrim in the chat there. Or Elder Scrolls Online.
Now it's time. I'm gonna share the secret. You guys stuck around this far. You deserve a little treat. You deserve a little morsel. Secret.
Show me.
All right, here. I'm just gonna read this tweet from Crypto Team. You know what, buddy? I'm sorry I wasn't following you. I'm gonna go ahead and write that wrong there. I know DZ knows very well that he, as a holder, has recognized book in time. I told you about this coin under a penny. Okay, you go back, watch the video. I told you under a penny. We're going to look real quick, and the reason I'm showing you this is because there's multiple books, so this is kind of important. You type in book. Hold on, let me get the cursor.
And guys, leave the hate comments in the chat. Like, I'm completely okay with it. It points out the people that like watching people that cheat on their families, cheat on their wives, have people in their cars, and completely dump and pump and dump on their communities. So I appreciate it. Thanks for the engagements, guys. We appreciate it.
Book, if you type in book, it's the second one. It's super hard to see the logo, but it's like a super hard logo. And I told you at 1 cent. So under a penny. So congrats on it was 0.009. So congrats on the 300% pump there, everybody. I think this is the tweet right here. All right. Nope. It's right here. Yes. One of the main advisors. All right. Here we go. Here's the book alpha. Go ahead, start recording this if you're into book. I'm going to give you the alpha about one of the hottest altcoins on Cardano. It's called Book. The team's very strong. And I'm going to tell you why I'm bullish. Number one of the main advisors is Rio Caref, the man who is the founder of Vivo, president and CEO. Vivo got a lot of good connections. In fact, they're working with Disney. And not only that, he has a history of software engineering with Capitol Records, Sony Picture Entertainment, and Universal Music. So the guy has connections. The biggest investor in the company, Mark Cuban, famous for his show in Shark Tank and also doing a pivot towards crypto. He hasn't even publicly announced this yet. I expect once he does, I do expect that he will. I expect a massive pump as people start to learn this fact for the first time, but I'm sharing it with you. And then last but not least, Ingram Content Group, big investor in the company. This is a publishing arm. The revenue of this company is $2.4 billion with 17 million titles. They print the books you order through Amazon before they arrive at your address here. And not only that, they print books for Barnes and Noble. They're a big investor in this company. They have a conference, 420. Charles Hoskinson is going to be speaking there personally. There's no point wasting words about the book token. They have a lot. There's not much utility with the token, but I expect, I haven't heard this. Maybe you'll be able to buy these books with book in the future. I'm very bullish on this ecosystem. I'm sharing it with you. It's a micro cap. Probably shouldn't even share it with you, but I'm doing it anyways because I don't care.
Dang.
Woo!
That's all I got.
Woo! All right, guys. We're coming up to the 350 likes. So guys, make sure you smack that like button. But ultimately, I want to know your guys' favorite altcoins. And I want to know if you guys can actually guess the product we're going to be talking about. So spam your favorite altcoins. Spam the ones that you guys want us to look into. I just saw someone bring up Fractal Monster. I pulled that up. That's on Algorand as a game. If you guys have favorite altcoins you're watching, Hidden Gems, we sometimes find these from you guys in the community. So just let us know. People still read books. I think everybody should read books. I'm trying to read actually 40 this year. Last year I read about 26. I haven't finished 26. I'm on 26 right now, so technically it's already flowing into the new year. But I think books just help you break out of any point you are in your life. If you're stuck from a content perspective or just stuck in career-wise, or you just feel like you're stagnant, it's sometimes literally one phrase or one sentence in a book that can mentally shift that gear into high production. So, I'm all for books here. We got any last articles too, I think. I know we kind of went on an absolute tangent there. Automated traded pools,
Nothing's
Magic Eden,
good.
Nothing.
Let's just get to the coin and
Let's
end
get
it, man.
it. All right, here it is for you guys.
The meat, the morsels.
Here we go. Here's the meat. I see a lot of great projects coming in. Minus Ponky, but WooCoin. We have Sol, Zen, Horizon, Aether. The project I'm showing you guys, it's already up 15% today. But it's actually Clord.ai. And Nick behind the computer here has been mining this one as well. This guy's always on the early gems projects here. But this is going to be another decentralized rendering platform here. I have a little bit of this fully disclosed. This isn't partnership or anything. This is a project we've been watching with the Discord, with my community, and everybody on our channels for a while at this point. So that is a project. If you guys are into things like rendering and believe in DPIN category, we have an entire DPIN video coming out with decentralized physical infrastructures. I believe with the advancement of artificial intelligence, now implementing brain chips into people's brains, the rendering is going to be very, very important coming into the future. So we're watching that here. We have Magic Mayhem, $2. Can you look into Tucker Coin? Is that?
Oh, that's probably going to be a hot meme.
Is
coin.
that? Yeah, I'm
there
guessing.
Has to be like only one though. You
it's
know what
not
I mean?
that hot.
You can't.
It's down 32%.
Oh.
Well, it's pretty new here. So guys, just with meme coins, I mean, if Tucker Carlson decides to announce he's going to run for VP, it might pump.
What's the liquidity looking like to?
$83,000. It's.
I thought it might have been million for a second.
No, this thing's million.
This
might not even be the right one. There might be one on Dex Tools that doesn't pop up on CoinGecko here yet. So
that's the one that's up 400%.
Yeah, and we got some spams in the chat. Fake intelligence that was holding Chlor, not that much. Nice. Congrats on the pump today. Making those profits. Just remember, sure you guys take those profits.
People have been talking about Chainlink. I've seen a couple mentions on Chainlink. Did it like break
Chainlink?
Out of its little boring zone?
Crust is a great one.
It's at like $15 right now. $15.70. So there's quite a bit of a pump today.
All right. Well, if you share my screen, we look at the 3-month chart. I'm about to kind of freak you out. Chainlink loves ranges. like that. Look at that range. So this was 500 days. It was like it was like 511, 512, something like that. So this was 500 days.
Wow.
I'm not saying it's going to do in fact, it won't do 500 days, but don't be surprised if it hangs out in this range longer than you want it to.
Well, that's what we got for you gents today. Appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like the video and comment down below so that way you guys can enter the $100 giveaway that we'll be constantly doing. And remember, check out the crypto.tax, guys. The link's in the description. You can get your free consultation today so that way you make sure that you pay your taxes, guys. Thank you for watching.
Spell Token's a good name. That's all I got.